Hello and welcome back to EclipseClan. This week I am picking up right where I left off because I'm actually going to be camping while you guys are watching this episode if you're watching it on the day that it goes up. So I'm also not going to be responding to any comments or anything like that for a little bit just because I won't be available. But we are going to jump right in off the drama of last time with Shortburn and Peak First growing kits. So, without further ado, we're going to jump right into a time skip here, and we will see what happens. Okay, so going into Moon 6C here. Jagged Acorn is welcomed as a fully trained mediator of the clan. Shortburn wakes one day after moons of numbness and feels as though the world is less dull. Shortburn fought a big dog and was badly injured. I really want to know what's going on with Shortburn and these dogs because she's the only one that's fighting big dogs. And like every time she gets healthy, she fights another one and loses. I don't know if she's trying to do some kind of dog tamer thing like Tiger Claw Star does in the original books, or if she's trying to do something else here, like just prove her mettle, fight a dog, get a taste of blood. I don't know, but she lost regardless. Rushreed will always feel their grief, but time has softened it, at least a little. Hocus Pocus has gotten white cough. Sky Meadow was bitten by a snake and miraculously survived. Quillbat is feeling much better, they've recovered from the heat stroke. Sega Runner's got a running nose and Shardpaw stomachache has left. Rushreed went missing for a few days. Cougar Speckle has realized that She-Cat doesn't describe how they feel anymore, but was caught outside Clan's territory. Minkkit falls into a river but is saved by Rain Creek. Okay. There is a lot to unpack in these last couple of things here. So our leader and our deputy are both pretty severely injured. Two of our medicine cats have like either just gone missing or caught outside of the territory. Okay, so let's go ahead and save here. And let's just check out our cats first and foremost and see what's going on. Because this whole thing here isn't exactly ideal for this clan, because Shortburn is injured, Sky Meadow's injured, and Hocus Pocus is sick. Those are the three main cats in power, and the three main cats helping to keep Shortburn's control under wraps. So I think Rushreed, maybe Cougar Speckle, are making their moves now to try and sow dissent or gather any kinds of support that they can. So, the real question is Shortburn feels that she's got the backup to enforce finally getting Rushreed out of here or similar. Shortburn is injured with one of the longest lasting things being a broken bone. So she's going to be down. Presently, she's thinking about exiling elders from now on. We don't have any elders, but we would definitely be doing that if we did. Sky Meadow has been hurt with a snake bite. Hocus Pocus is sick with white cough. So we are in a very dangerous position here. So it looks like Cougar Speckle is a trans male. So he's currently thinking about taking on a new apprentice. Cougar Speckle hasn't necessarily done anything against the clan, so I'm not thinking that his motives were necessarily nefarious, but I definitely think that Shortburn is viewing them as such. Same with Rushreed. So Jagged Acorn is nervous with a connection to Star Clan. Tumble Brutus is injured with a mangled leg. And so obviously she's not going to be up and going here. And to be totally honest, I don't think that since she doesn't really have that much flexibility and she was already down a little bit. I don't know if she's going to have the capability to get better. We'll give her one more go, but if she's not better by then, she's out of the clan. Okay, McAster is down to neutral, so he's going to start going into the negatives if he's not recovering from his burn here soon. Quillbat is wondering how Reshreed is doing. Quillbat's always kind of struck me as being a little bit closer to Reshreed than other cats, so it's a dangerous place for him to be flirting as well. Dust Tingle is currently doing their clanmates' chores with a smile on their face. So I think Dust Tingle has effectively just been resorted to doing everything that nobody else wants to do. And because of her nature being compassionate, she's not really concerned about doing it at all. She's happy to help out her clan. And they're happy to take full advantage of her. So maybe they aren't necessarily opposed to having her around. Dandelion Paw is having a hard time keeping up with their training. It's probably harder for the parents to succeed since their attention is spread over however many kits. But it definitely is taking a little bit longer for them to get trained up. They're going to be well past being 12 moons old before they get their names at this rate. Caterpillar Kit is boldly walking out of camp. Just everybody sees the kit go. Maybe Claw Splinter's the only one that tries to stop him. Honestly, at the current distribution of the clan, I think a lot of cats would be kind of indifferent to outright aggressive about a little kit that's trying to wander away. So Caterpillar Kit better be careful. Claw Splinter has really developed a liking for Reshreed has really developed a liking for Claw Splinter, which is moderately returned but not to the same extent as, you know, her other mates. Condor Fern has developed a few crushes on Peakfur's kids, which is a very interesting kind of Romeo and Juliet situation we could be having there. If they return it, then I may make them mates and see what happens, honestly. So Cloverpelt returns Condor Fern's feelings, as does Gravel Arch. I think of the two, Condor Fern is probably a bit more drawn to Cloverpelt. So we'll see what happens with our Romeo and Juliet lesbian cats, I guess. Oh my gosh, Midge Acorn also has a crush on Condor Fern, so I guess Condor Fern is just shamelessly flirting with all of Peakfur's kits. That's definitely going to be problematic for somebody in the future. Reshreed also has, despite her strong feelings for Claw Splinter, also has some return interest with Flax Knight. And I think in the interest of trying to cement her position as a strong cat in the clan, I think she is going to take him as a mate. Just see if that keeps her a bit more secure in the clan. I don't think Shortburn's really going to be fooled by that. I think poor Flax Knight here is just going to be getting entirely taken advantage of, in all honesty. But I'm curious to see what happens there regardless. Okay. So I've got an interesting development here. So Sacred Runner takes Dust Tingle now to the edge of the clan's territory. I think their motive for doing this is just telling Dust Tingle that they're not being well treated here in the clan, indicating the scar that Condor Fern gave them on their flank. Dust Tingle, eager to kind of get any sort of standing in the clan, follows Sacred Runner out, and there they meet their mother Peakfur. The now warrior lashes out at Peakfur, stating that she abandoned them when she needed them most. As they curl up in the nest that night, they think resentfully of how it's all Shortburn's fault. So some of Dusthangle's resentments are actually starting to build towards Shortfern. So they don't really forgive Peakfur for quote-unquote abandoning them in this clan, but they also aren't really ignoring Shortfern's role in the situation anymore either. So, ooh. And she's already kind of treading thin ice here. So Pond Flame is going to worsen their relationship. And Jagged Acorn is going to hesitantly improve Dusthingle and Sigrunner. So now respect and trust, so that's about perfect. I don't necessarily think they like or feel more comfortable around each other, but very interesting development indeed. So regardless, Dusthingle does need to successfully go on this patrol in order to stay in the clan. Since she's a compassionate nature, she is negative, so she's going on border patrol by herself, come what may. So I really hope we get a chance to see how this develops, but depending on RNG, we may not. We'll just start off with Dusthangle now. I may as well. So I noticed some suspicious paw prints in the mud beneath the canopy. Nose to the ground, following the trail, Dusthingle doesn't see the blow coming. They haul themselves to their feet, spitting with outrage, but the rogue that did it has already turned and run. Dusthingle got a cat bite. I think coming back bleeding and injured, asking for help from probably Reshreed in all honesty, since she's the most senior Messin cat, or has been at least in EclipseClan forever. Shortburn, with her own broken bones, sees Dusthingle coming into the den bleeding, and she hisses at both of them, but she doesn't actually say anything. She's in a very vulnerable position right now, with Reshreed taking care of Dusthingle, and Havensight, who's kind of a wild card, helping out. She doesn't feel like she's in a good position between her mangled leg already and a different broken leg to defend herself if anything happens, and she feels that by saying something, something's going to happen. So Shortburn is not feeling confident enough right now to enforce her own rule. Danger Dave finally has a good practice session with the kits Rosiepaw and Quiverpaw, and their trust grows stronger in their clanmates. And it formally puts Danger Dave out of danger. Let's see how Rain Creek does, though. Okay, so they just talk about visions as they train, nothing good or bad. I think Condor Fern will take her mate Cloverpelt along to help train Sky Meadow's apprentice, both as a bonding opportunity and because I feel like Condor Fern is kind of lazy, and I feel like she doesn't really want to even be training the apprentices, so she's also looking for an excuse to pawn off some of the work on somebody else. But everybody has a nice practice session regardless. The smell of food lures Barleytooth into what looks like a tunnel between some bushes. Let's see. Barley is good when it comes to having some wiggle room to not take this risk. As are Flax, Knight, and Midge Acorns, so we're not going to proceed. We'll say, just for flavor's sake, that they did come back empty-handed, and it kind of comes out that they had an opportunity for food of some sort, and chose not to take it. So we'll count as a strike against them all. But I'd rather that than risk losing a cat. Sigrunner, Cliftapple, and Gravel Arch managed to cross the road. I didn't realize how nice Gravel Arch was. I know I said it, but I kind of forgot. So luckily for them. And with that, we'll go ahead and time skip again. So as we're moving into Leafall here, another fire rages. This time, it seems to be in the heart of our territory, and Havensight, Quillbat, and Bushpaw are all killed. Caterpillar Kit was also killed in their sleep by a snake that snuck into camp. Rain Creek feels as though they're living through a nightmare. Bushpaw can't really be dead. When no one needs anything from them, Rain Creek breaks down, wailing uncontrollably and cursing the world that took Bushpaw instead of them. This past moon, Havensight, Quillbat, Bushpaw, and Caterpillar Kit had taken their place in ClanGen. Their losses mourned, and stories of their life were shared. So much grief and death has taken its toll on our cats, and Segrunner is particularly shaken by it. Clawsplinter, basically Hocus Pocus's last actual touch with strength in the clan, also fought a big dog and was badly injured. So now I'm starting to wonder if the role isn't actually reversed, in that somebody isn't luring these big dogs back to camp, where Shortburn and her lackeys are more likely to be lounging about and injuring them that way. Brushreed's got a running nose, and Hocus Pocus coughs, feeling like they're hacking up half their lungs. This is definitely worse than White Cough ever gets. Oh my gosh. Segrunner's running nose is gone. Cliff's Applehaver's gotten one. McAster was lucky, and they've recovered from their burn that they received. Rain Creek has gotten White Cough. Rosiepaw took a tumble off a rock while practicing their battle moves. They'll be a bit tender for the next few days. As if the injury itself wasn't bad enough, Temple Brutus's mangled leg has started to swell and feels feverish. Temple Brutus is unfortunately going to be exiled from the clan. They're getting worse, and with so much sickness and injury rampant, I think Shortburn is going to say that their leg is a bad sign. They don't want anything else to spread, and while the logic is faulty, I think the clan's going to take it. Shy Kit woke up with a splitting headache and couldn't get out of their nest, spending the entire day curled up trying to avoid light and noise. And Dandelion Paws realized that Tom doesn't describe how they feel anymore. Okay. That's a very eventful go here. In all honesty, I can also totally see Shortburn ordering Temple Brutus in such a way that she would be at risk of the fire. And I could see somebody very easily just saying, oops, and Temple Brutus would also have perished in the fire. So I think we're going to go with this. An attempt to stay on Shortburn's good side, Temple Brutus attempts to help other cats escape the fire, falling victim herself when another cat cuts off her only escape option. Since Temple Brutus was supportive of Shortburn, but was treated so badly, I think I'll let her into ClanGen. Let's see. Bushpaw is going to go to ClanGen. Caterpillar Kit is going to go to ClanGen. Quillbat is insecure but impressive climber, so it is kind of surprising that Quillbat would have been stuck in a fire. He could have just been trying to help out another cat and was the unfortunate victim of being in the wrong place at the wrong time with no escape options. Fires, especially wildfires, can spread very quickly, so it's pretty easy to say he got overrun. Quillbat is honestly kind of a neutral cat. I'm going to keep him in the Dark Forest just for now. Oh. Bluebird shouldn't be here. But I'm going to keep Quillbat here just for right now. Shortburn is currently slashing at a disloyal warrior. Ooh. I definitely think that this would be probably her current 10-mate Dustingle. Yeah, Dustingle was still hurt. So I think whenever Brushreed isn't around, Shortburn's lashing out, figuratively and literally, at Dustingle. She's probably not using her words, and instead Dust Tingle is just faced with this hissing, angry cat that can't move from her nest, and is just kind of huddling in the opposite corner of the den, trying not to move too much. Sky Meadow is still injured with a snake bite. Hocus Pocus's bite cough has escalated to green cough, and it sounds like he's having some feverish dreams right now after waking up in the middle of the night with one. Ooh, Jagged Acorn is feeling worried with all the high tension lately. So I guess cats of the clan are definitely feeling whatever's going on, especially with all the cats dying from various tragedies. Claw Splinter is looking longingly at other cats as they talk amongst themselves. She's in the medicine cat den herself with a broken bone. She's probably just watching her mate Hocus Pocus completely deteriorate, and Shortburn, her other mate, lashing out blindly at other cats, and is honestly probably feeling pretty alone right now. To be totally honest, I think Hocus Pocus is too sick to notice the loss of Caterpillar Kit, and Shortburn is just too caught up in her rage right now to like properly take a notice either. So I think Claw Splinter is probably the only one actually feeling the grief of losing their kit, and is just totally feeling alone. McAster is healed without even a scar. Rain Creek is sick with white cough and is grease stricken. So I feel like her grief and like kind of that sense of hopelessness made her more susceptible to catching the white cough going around camp. Condor Fern smells like they may have rolled in catmint recently, which is probably especially heartless when their dad is currently very sick with green cough. Instead of bringing that back to camp where it could be used, she decided to use it for her own pleasure instead. Rosy Paw's feeling proud of the progress they've made. They'll probably be warrior next moon. Quiverpaw, meanwhile, overslept and missed their patrol. Dandelion Paw identifies now as non-binary, and they are wondering if they'll have to fight a battle anytime soon. That vengeful, quick to make peace nature is definitely something that's going to probably be to their boon here soon when it comes to whatever troubles are going around camp right now. Sharpaw has been training very hard though. Skunkpaw is wondering what Shortburn is thinking. It's probably a bit of a mystery to all the cats right now. Shortburn's always been kind of a very unforgiving cat, but since the injuries to her leg, she has gotten a bit more forgiving, possibly self-conscious of her own downfalls. And right now, it seems like she's just lashing out at anything and everything, which makes her unpredictable, which also makes her very dangerous. All of the remaining kits of Claw Splinter and Hocus Pocus are just kind of playing right now. Except for Shy Kit, who's unwell with a headache, but they will be apprenticed next moon. To be totally honest, I'm wondering about that snake that bit Caterpillar Kit. It seems very convenient that that snake would have snuck in when Sky Meadow was already injured after a snake bite, possibly defending his younger siblings from another snake as well. And another snake goes after the kits, killing one. Kind of like with the dogs, it feels very convenient that this keeps happening, and it keeps happening to Shortburn and her family specifically. Okay, Gravel Arch is randomly given the 3 remaining apprentices from Rain Creek to watch over and take out hunting. And tracking the scent of the fox, we find a red one feeding on a deer fawn carcass. Impossible to say whether the fox killed it or found it. Gravel Arch is still feeling some tension towards herself as well, so I think she's just going to proceed. The patrol launches into battle, but Dandelion Paw is caught with a nasty bite. The cats give up challenging for food in favor of helping Dandelion Paw back to the medicine cat den. So that is, unfortunately, not good for anybody. Honestly, a lot of cats are on very, very thin ice of this bunch. But with Shortburn acting so unpredictably, it's hard to say about what negative outcomes would be, if any, for failure right now. Danger Dave manages to hunt a rat that was hissing at Rosy Paw. McAster sees 2 kids from Thrush Clan playing close to the border. We all know we're going to take advantage of this opportunity. And we do so by attacking and killing the kids, worsening our relationships with Thrush Clan. So really everybody else had a successful patrol there. It wasn't anything exceedingly exciting. Okay, so it looks like Stake Runner actually did manage to take Gravelarge out to meet their mother Peekfur. The apprentice smiles and nods through Peekfur's story, but feels in their heart that they are being manipulated by their mother. So I think this can kind of be backtracked to when Gravelarge was seen touching noses with a loner. I think it probably was their mother, but based upon this generator here, it sounds like they're just playing nice to their mom's face, but really think that she's lying and that Shortburn's probably telling the truth here. Okay. I think that's about all the time I've got for today, so I do hope that you enjoyed today's episode. Shortburn is on a quick spiral down and really feels that she's losing her control over the clan. But she doesn't also feel like she has any power to actually change anything in that. So it's going to be very interesting to see how things progress here. There's going to be a lot of bloodshed or exiling or something akin to that before this is over. So I guess stay tuned if that interests you. Until next time, stay safe and happy. I will see you then, and bye!